What is up, guys? We are back in the garage today. I haven't posted anything in a while just because of the weather here in California. It's been in the steady hundreds for the past couple of weeks, but it gave me a little bit of time to collect some parts. So I did get some lowering springs in. I got some the spring bushings. I also got the bump stops for the control arms. I also got some sport mirrors, and we'll be loading the front end of the OBS today, and also installing those mirrors, so stay tuned for that. But before we get to that, I just want to say thank you for all the new subscribers. We're just over 100 subscribers. I know it's not a lot. It does mean a lot to me because I'm new to this, so I appreciate the support, and I just want to say thank you for everyone that's watching. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned. Alright guys, we got some parts in today I want to share with you. I'm not going to do any unboxing, but see, these are some of the parts that I've been waiting for. We got the lowering shocks from Western Chassis. These are the part numbers there if you need those. They're about $108 shipped to my door. We got some polyurethane bump stop bushings for the lower control arms. We also got some lowering springs, which gives us a total of 3 inch of drop in the front, and with the 2 inch drop spindle it'll give you 5 inches of drop total. We also got the new spring pocket bushings that go on top of the springs, the new rubber. You want to replace those as well. And we also got some 454 side mirrors, so we'll be replacing those today. We'll be switching those out on the old OBS, changing out the mirrors, setting the ride height properly. The front's sitting a little bit higher than I want it to. The back tire's tucking, and it looks like the front is raked higher than the front. It is. So we're gonna set the ride height today. If these springs don't work out, we're gonna be cutting some springs, so hopefully they do, and that'll be that. So let's get to it, guys. Alright guys, let's get to these mirrors. These are pretty straightforward to replace. You got a little plastic clip behind there. Try not to break it. That one seems okay, so that's good there. Just put that aside. And you should have some kind of like insulation. Get that out of the way. These mirrors are original to the truck, I'm pretty sure. But you also have 3 10mm bolts. There's one there, one on the top, and one on the side. Just take those out real quick. How to get those, I don't know yet. I think we'll have to pop out this tab to get something in here. Or maybe not. Alright, that's loose. Loose. How do I get that one? That one's gonna need a wrench. Okay guys, all the bolts are out. Come right off. Got some nice dirt on there. Let's clean this up a little bit. Alright guys, the old mirror's out, and this is as clean as it's gonna get for now. Pretty clean, still original paint. That looks like some very nice shiny paint. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but this truck's never been painted before. Nice and clean underneath the mirror, a little bit faded on the outside. That's all right. Then we got our mirrors. This is what I took out. That was a stock 1500 OBS mirror, and we're replacing it with the 454 sport mirror. So you can see the differences. This one's a lot shorter, it doesn't collapse in, a lot smaller compared to the other one. You can see the difference. Got the nice sporty one, it's brand new. Got the old stock one, kind of big and bulky, so we're switching that out. These are pretty simple, just have 3 bolts on the back. Take off the retainers. Got this little shield guard. Alright, and these are pretty simple. Just go in. Let's get one of the bolts in so they don't fall off. Alright, just snug up one of the bolts so it doesn't come out. Got 2 more bolts to go. And that far back one was a pain in the butt, but get that one in there. Snug tight. Got that far back one. That was a pain in the ass. Alright guys, mirrors all in. We gotta get that little sponge back in. That looks about right. And then get this on. Pretty good little fit. Nice little change. It's the small things that matter, right? So let's get this wheel off and get that going, and when we're done with that, we'll get the other side done as well. Alright guys, we got to get the lower controller mount so we can pop out the spring. We're first going to take out that cotter pin there. That bolt, I think that's like a 27, and this is like a 17 or 18. So let's see, we got that. We got to take out this cotter pin. That's out. Okay, you want to loosen up this bolt till it's almost free and just leave it on there. Leave some threads, and we're going to get a sledgehammer and hit it right here. So hopefully it breaks the ball joint loose. We got to take this one out as well. It's an 18 mil socket. Then you don't ever want to hit the threads, but we will smack the knuckle just to get this ball joint loose. Alright, remove just enough. Now it's out. Alright, now we gotta smack it right here. To get this one loose, make sure you have something holding the jack stand up. We also gotta get this one loosened up so we could pull the arm away so we get this spring out. Alright, we're going to take out the shock. Alright, these two are out. Shock is free to move. Then we have this one as well. Okay guys, we got to take off the sway bar link. So we have 13 mil on the bottom and then a 14 mil on the top. Alright, that's out. And the spring dropped. And we still gotta separate these two. So alright guys, so we gotta get the shock out from the top. It's like a 14 mil socket. Alright, we got the ball joint loose. Just gotta get this out. Most of these are under a lot of tension. This one, not so much. So it leads me to believe it's either already been cut or modified or heated up and shrunken down. As soon as we get it out, we'll be able to tell. Spring. This is always the rubber boot you want to change out on them. Obviously you could tell for a reason. They're all rotted and roached out. So let's look at the new ones and see what we got to do. Alright guys, this is my old spring that came out. This is the new spring. As you can see, there's not much of a difference. So I think the best thing to do at this point would be to cut these springs. Cut these springs and set a right height. Alright guys, we got the old spring out. This one's pretty beat up and worn out. You can tell it's pretty bent out of shape. It looks like at one point it might have been heated up, but these are pretty much exactly the same. You're supposed to measure from the bottom of the spring to the top, and you're getting about 13 inches. Okay, Same thing with the new one. Measure from the bottom to the top, and roughly 13 inches. And this rule of thumb typically applies to only GM vehicles. I don't know about any other vehicles, but we're gonna cut these springs to set the ride height. It was sitting up about 3 inches higher. So if you cut 1 inch off the spring, it gives you 2 at the body. So we're gonna cut 1.5 inches off the spring to get a total of 3 inches drop off the body. So from 13 inches, you're just gonna walk your tape measure around to 1.5, and it'll meet up. So just walk it around. It's gonna be 11.5 inches. So 11.5 is right there. I'm gonna mark it. And we're gonna cut that off. The easiest way to cut these off is either with a grinder, flap wheel, hack it off. I'm gonna use a sawzall. See how that works. It's a little bit hot today. Don't want to deal with the grinder. Alright, so it looks like a grinder it is. So it looks like we cut off a coil and a half total. So that should give us what we need. A little bit hot. And then of course, we have these. This is gonna sit on top of the spring. Wind it up like that. Alright guys, a little trick someone showed me a long time ago. We're gonna wrap some electrical tape around it just to hold it in place so it doesn't go anywhere on us. That one's there. That one's it. Alright, we're going to clean some of this up. Alright guys, the spring is pretty much in. You got a little notch there. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the spring sits in perfectly. Make sure you got your ball joint and your knuckle on the bottom. And start going up slow. Ball joint falls into place. Get your castle nut back on. Okay guys, pretty much done with this side. Let's get a cotter pin in here. Alright, cotter pin's in, tie rod end is in. We just need to get the front sway bar link in. Looks like I'm missing some pieces. Okay guys, we got our Western chassis shock, lowering shock. Big difference. This is our old, obviously, and this would be our brand new. Alright guys, we just have a bump stop to replace. It's pretty easy, just one bolt. And these are all roached out pretty bad, so we'll be replacing these. These are the original ones, pretty cracked. I just have some universal polyurethane ones, so that'll work for this. Not a big deal. All right guys, these are all the parts that I replaced. I replaced the old 1500 mirrors. So those I'll be putting on offer up or something, just getting rid of them. The old shocks, lowering shocks, pretty beat up. I don't know how long they've been in there. We replaced the old bump stops, of course. These are the old ones that I pulled out. And also replaced the springs. As you can see, they're not sitting very evenly. There's no doubt in my mind, I think these were torched or heated up to get them to compress a little bit. You can tell by the bottom of the coils, they're really compressed. And then the boot obviously was trashed as well. And these are the rest of the remains of my new springs.